Hello, good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Hello. Hello, dear family. How is going? How are you? Let's see. Hello. It's all clear, it's all perfect. Welcome to Naples. Hello, Kuroi. So, welcome to this wonderful part of my city, Naples. I'm not moving the camera, flipping the camera to the other side. I'm just waiting a couple of minutes so we give the chance to our friends to join the tour. This is one of my favorite tours of Naples, which is the Plebiscito Square. It's the largest square in Naples, and the Royal Palace Garden. Wow. Ciao Janice, ciao Miranda, ciao Beata and Satyam. Hello. Afternoon, Joanna. Hello, Rebecca. Ciao, Rebecca. Because with with the nickname, it's hard for me to understand who is connected. But I'm glad that you are here. Very glad. So, last time we were in Sorrento. I'm sorry I was late back then, but there were some problems with the app. Now it seems that everything is working perfectly. Remember that the tour I will make it upload, so I will upload on YouTube channel after this live tour. So I just need the time to go home and to download and upload it. So hello from Montreal, good. I am outside one of the most beautiful buildings of Naples. This is the Royal Palace. Look at this. Hello, Monican77. Ciao Lynn, ciao a tutti. You see now we have more friends joining, which is great. I'm just giving these other 40 seconds and then we start our live tour from Plebiscito Square, from the Royal Palace Garden of Naples. Napoli today, the weather is not one of the best. This morning was raining, tomorrow will rain a lot, so I'm not sure if tomorrow the tour is confirmed or not because it will be a lot of rain. But today it's live and we are happy about it. Remember that for any questions you can use the chat. You can have the description of the whole tour back into this video. Tornado warning. Stay safe please. Live, laugh, love. Good. So welcome to Naples, dear family. It's time to start. I'm facing that on YouTube there are not so many followers joining our live tour, but maybe because the channel needs to grow up. So remember to like the tour, remember to follow the channel, to subscribe and to share the words with your friends. That will be very important. It's not so cold, but it's windy, so it's chilly. And look where I am. I am from one of the most beautiful squares of Italy. In Naples for sure is the largest, but it's one of the most beautiful squares of Italy, and it's called the Plebiscito Square, the plebiscite, the big universal vote. So we were there last time, but we were not so close to the Royal Palace, and you have a beautiful perspective of this important square of Italy. It's one of the most beautiful, I guess. I'm right in the middle of the square, where you see the great structure, the great building in the middle, which is round with the two big arms of columns on either side. Reminds a lot of the St. Peter's Basilica in Rome and the Pantheon as well. It's true. It reminds both buildings because that was built with that concept. It was built at the early 19th century. In the 1816 is a basilica, San Francesco di Paola Basilica, and was built with the so-called neoclassical style, the new classic style, that after the discovery of Pompeii and Herculaneum and Paestum and the beauty from Rome appearing from the ground, most of the architects, they wanted to follow this style, that we can see many other examples all over the world. The name of the square, Plebiscito, is because this huge, big votation. And right here, right in the middle, we have on either side of the entrance of the basilica, the statues made of bronze. One is made by Canova. of the King Ferdinando and the King Charles the Bourbon. Charles is the father, Ferdinando is the son, and the King Charles was the person who discovered the first Herculaneum, then Pompeii. But the King Charles is not the only statue in this square of that king, because he's a so important dynasty, the Bourbon house, that changed completely the shape of not just Napoli, but the entire Europe in the 1700s. The statues of the King Charles is also the feet of the Royal Palace. The Royal Palace of Napoli is this stunning building that we will understand when it was built very soon. But that is the sculpture of the King Charles. Look how beautiful dress he's wearing. It's very proud. He can be very proud. Actually, he was the son of Elisabetta Farnese, the Farnese family from Rome, and the son of the King of Spain, Philip. In the 1734, he turned to be the King of Naples, and he used this royal palace as his house. While at the feet of the royal palace, we have also other statues of other kings. That is Gioacchino Murat, the brother-in-law of Napoleon. And then we have at the very end the king of the Savoy dynasty, the dynasty who ruled Italy as a one unified country from the 1861 till the 1945, let's say. So that is the king, Vittorio Emanuele. But why so many kings at the feet of the royal palace? Because it's like a timeline of the different dynasties that they were here in Naples. Since Napoli was a kingdom, because Naples was the capital of a kingdom, and right in this corner you can see not just the royal family home, the royal palace, but also the beautiful castle on top of the hill with the Certoso of San Martino. So I think this is one of the best corners of the city to have an incredible view and perspective of how big and royal is the whole city, the whole place. Then Napoli is living a perfect moment now. We won our championship just a couple of days ago. Since Maradona time, since the 1990, and Naples, after 33 years, won again the championship in Italy just a few days ago. That's why you can see in vast part of the city a lot of blue and white flags. But when the Royal Palace was built for the first time, we need to go back at the 1600. When I was telling you that the King Charles started to be the king from the 1734, it was not the first guest of this place, but the whole building was built around the 1600 as a Palazzo Vicereale. What does it mean? The vice kingdom of Naples. It means that the king was in Spain, the emperor. Hello, Bonnie. And Napoli was part of the Spanish kings, the Spanish emperor. So Napoli had a governor that was called the Viceré, and they started to build a long road called Toledo Street that have to connect the historical center with this place that was the new government building, the new government area of Napoli. And they built a beautiful building, which is not this one that you can see. This one that you can see now is the restoration of the 1700, and we can say that the building started to be from the 1600, but the last stone of the restoration of this place was in the 1858. So it took like 258 years to complete the whole royal palace, as you can see now. Today is a museum, it's a national library, it's a government buildings. It's a literally spectacular place to read a book, and we have a beautiful garden right in the middle, right inside. During the war, they were used as a garita, those two places to check with the soldiers inside. Let's go inside the garden of the royal palace, because you will see something really special. But first of all, the view of the square from here is just unbelievable, just beautiful. Naples is a city with like 1.5 million of people living within the perimeter of the proper city, plus a few million around. The metropolitan city of Napoli in total is about 4 million of people, with the highest density of population of the whole world. And that's why this square is also the place where all the concerts or the fireworks on New Year's Eve are always active. So it's a very, very important part of the city. So you can get, Napoli has a lot of buildings built next to each other, all different kind of colors. because each building was property of different families that basically in the past they were the noble families, so they could call their own architect. But also it's a city full of mystery. Right under the square, during the work for the metro, they found in the middle of that place a bunker that was used by the Bourbon house, that they could escape from the Royal Palace underground in case of an attack for enemies. And that is the entrance welcome to the Royal Palace, dear family. Everything is grand. Everything is made with a volcanic stone called the piperno and the travertine that you can see here, or basalt from the floor. Everything is telling about the history of this great kingdom. The beautiful lamps that you can see made of metal and, well, the glass are modern, but the rest of the building is completely original. And look how beautiful it is. Welcome to the beauty, the great beauty of Naples. This big courtyard where we have arches on the four sides, this is the main entrance to the Royal Palace. At the upper floor, then now we have a glass that is part of the restorations of the 1800s, but at the beginning, the first project of the whole building had a second floor, a second series of arches, part of the region. The Kingdom of Naples, in the full extension, are quite thick walls, but now that we are reaching the open air, you will get much more signal. We have also a beautiful fountain. Hello family, I'm back. I am back. Are you still there? Are you still here? Let's see. You see the problem of YouTube. That's the problem of YouTube. Let's see if now you are back. Well, if I'm back. The signal is keeping jumping up and down. I always had no issue with the signal, especially for this tour. What do you see now into the screen? What you can see now into the screen? Let's ask. Ah, the horse is scared. Thank you, Rebecca. Thank you very much. So it means that you can see where I am. Pigeon. Oh, no, those are not pigeon. No, those are horses. The horses of a famous artist called Mimmo Palladino, an artist that is a Campanian from the region where I'm from. He's a very international artist. Honestly, I suggest you to have a look about his name. Is Mimmo Domenico Palladino. And this beautiful sculpture, they are coming from, it looks like something coming out from the land, from the earth. That is the ceiling of the foyer of the San Carlo Theatre, the St. Charles Theatre. So the foyer, the place where they do also the test of the acoustic, and the horses there are coming out from there like a sort of a new life that was born from the land. The material of the horses, it's all volcanic stone, which is a great reminder to the volcanic region of Naples. The whole royal garden that in the past was called was the garden for the royal family. Now it's open to everyone that want to stay in a beauty in the middle of a city that is very crowded. Sometimes we have a big issue with the traffic jam. This is a green lawn for the city. The building that you can see now, the windows, that they are part of the National Library, like also this other portion over here. And there is also a section of this National Library where there is an important lab where archaeologists with the scientists are reading the papyrus from the Herculaneum Villa dei Papiri, discovered in the 1750s. It's a big place, so big that in the 1737 the King Charles, on the 4th of November, decided to open the Theatre St. Charles, Teatro San Carlo. That part of the building is right behind here. Let me show you. Also the beauty of the so-called romantic gardens. It's the test hall for the theater. You can see my my reflection. You cannot see anything inside apart some lights, because actually that is the test hall for the theater. And then all of these beautiful trees that we can see around, that honestly it's one of my favorite garden in the city, because it's so quiet. You have benches, people can sit, children can play, you can have your dogs. All of this beautiful garden started to be, as we can see here, from the end of the 18th century, when the Queen of Napoli was Carolina, Maria Carolina from Austria. Maria Carolina, she was the daughter of Maria Teresa, and she was the sister of the famous Queen of France that was beheaded during the French Revolution, of Maria Antonietta. So imagine how big connection that the city of Naples had in the 1700s, in the 1800s. A lot of important people were coming here. That's why the Royal Palace was the welcome car to all the embassy, the important travelers coming for the Grand Tour. And the taste of the end of the 18th century was to have gardens with exotic plants. Maria Carolina, she had a very important gardener that worked a lot also for the Royal Palace of Caserta. And we know that the first time that a camellia flower arrived to Europe, it was basically here in Naples. You see, people are reading books, people are just relaxing. It's a very, very beautiful corner of the city. Let's go also to this other part, this other corner. Most of the trees then are old, are over 200 years old, as you can see. Some of the roots are big, very, very, very big, and they also do some concert in the night along all of this beautiful place. In front of the Royal Palace, and this is where I'm going, you will get also to see a beautiful view of the oldest, one of the oldest castle of Naples, the so-called new castle, Castel Nuovo. That is a marvel of the nature, this big tree. Look how big roots we have. I want to go closer. This was also the private entrance for the Queen, with a chariot, with the horses, directly from the city. Where you can see these beautiful lamps. It looks like to live to another age, you know? Imagine to be part of it, to enter inside your house, inside your, well, just a little house, like this, with the chariot, with the horses directly on a terrace that was on the other side, facing the sea and the coast. I want to go closer to this spectacular tree because it has so big roots. That's so nice. It's also nice to see people enjoying the nature without any crowds around, especially this hour. Ciao Hélène, ciao. Ciao, buonasera, non ti preoccupare. Don't worry Hélène. That's very, very neat. Yeah, the horse, the bronze horse, that's has a very great piece of art, but it's not the only art that we can get here in this garden, since we have this stunning terrace. Now there is a little set for a concert, and you can imagine that the background with all of the lights is just spectacular. But now from here you can get to see the view of this spectacular castle, the new castle of Napoli. Here you are. So dear family, welcome to one of the most important and famous monuments of the city of Naples. Everything is so clear now, everything is so great in terms of quality. That is the so-called new castle. Has 5 towers. You won't see the 5th tower because it's on the back, but in between the 2 big towers you will see big marble white arch. That is the Triumphal Arch, one of the best examples of the Renaissance in Naples, that was there since Alfonso d'Aragona, the first Spanish king of Napoli, gave an important triumphal entrance to the city of Napoli after the extravagant victory against the French troops, because Napoli at the end of the Roman Empire had first a gap of the Byzantine culture. Napoli, it was under the control of Byzantium, Constantinople basically was called, and then had the Duchy of Naples, but then with the first king, Roger the Norman, had a Norman culture, then German with Federico II, French, Spanish, then the Viceroy, and then Spanish again. It's really a city that had so many different cultures, and we can see all of these different cultures around the monuments of the whole place. That is the view again of the corner of the Royal Palace that started to be the house of the royal family from the 1600, when the castle, that is the other building in front of us, was considered too old-fashioned for the new standards of the European life at the middle of the Renaissance, let's say. While all of these great buildings are all private accommodations, all of them, and built at the end of the 19th century, while to the left, this cream color building, that is the Galleria Umberto di Napoli. Galleria Umberto, the first of Naples. There is something like that in Milan, and that is the tallest dome of Napoli, 45 meters high. The glass of the dome has been completely restored because in 1943 Naples was under the bombing of the Allies and all of the glasses literally exploded. So right in front over here we are in the middle of this beautiful, the so-called romantic garden next to the Royal Palace and a castle that was first built in the 1200 but then restored, as we can see, with Alfonso d'Aragona in the middle of the 15th century. And if we get a chance now to go to the other corner of it, we will see some of the Sorrento coast as well. So really Naples, which the meanings of the word, it's the new city, Neapolis, is one of the oldest cities that we have in the Western world. Founded first as a name of Partenope in the late 8th century, and then the new city, where today is the historical center, built in the 5th century before Christ. Then had the Rome was a part of the Roman Empire as one of the most important commercial ports, with the Pozzuoli and the whole Bay of Napoli, and with the famous history of Pompeii that was totally buried by the Mount Vesuvius that you can see now right there. That is our volcano. That is the Vesuvius family. It's so quiet now. It's perfect. It's really perfect. I don't know if you ever been to Naples, but my suggestion is to visit this spectacular city that is full of museums, full of churches. Nearly 500 churches we have, and they are all spectacular Gothic, Baroque, Renaissance, neoclassical style. So Napoli, really, you have everything about the architecture and the archaeology. So that is the Sorrento coast at the end of there. I'm going close to the fence soon. But first you can see now this big, huge bridge. There is a lot of working, there's a building site right here because they are working for the subway. So all of this material, all of the containers that you can see now, they're going to remove very soon because Napoli has a very large and extended subway. The subway that will be also close to the port. That is the port. I don't know if you can get to see the water just under the arch. But why this big bridge and when was built? Was built when the Royal Palace was built. When the family literally changed the royal family from the castle there, and they moved to, that is the Mount Vesuvius anyway, their family. They moved to this other building. They have to create like a sort of a passage faster, instead of to walk through the city, if they have to go, especially to defend this place in a fast way. It's very gigantic, the shape, and it's all made with the typical red bricks and the contrast of the piperno, which is this gray stone, and the combo of the round windows with the triangular one. It's making the facade of this building with a lot of dynamic movement. The contrast with the dome of and the beautiful sky now at the sunset of the Galleria Umberto, that is a very good shot to take. So dear family, are you enjoying this tour? Naples is also the place where we have a lot of cruise ships coming every day. Even here they are working for the terrace, and there is in the project of the Museum of Napoli to removal of the fence, so people will get a beautiful terrace facing the coast. Beautiful, isn't it? And that is the coast, that is the seaside, the port. Well, one of the ports, because Napoli has several ports. We have the cruise ship ports, then we have the lifeguard coast port, the little yachts. So there are several places where you can see the sea Napoli. This perspective is one of my favorites. It's not so much traffic at this time of the day because all the offices and schools are closed, but from here you can get to see this other perspective complete of the new castle with a big huge tower which is at the extreme south of the building. I know the building to the left, it's a bunch that is a mid 20th century building. The architect actually was a really important architect also because was the first woman who got a degree in architecture of Italy. Her name is Filo Spaziale. So it's a very important building. Today half is a private apartments. I'm talking about the big walkie-talkie right there. And the other half is a hotel, the Hotel Ambassador now. Honestly, I'm not a big fan of this architecture because in contrast with the 1800 buildings and the 15th century castle now, that building is a big punch. But it's also nice to see the contrast. Napoli is a city of contrast. It's a city built on different elements, on fire, water, air, everything. Everything can happen in this city. Actually, I've been very lucky for the weather today. I'm wearing my umbrella, but I'm not using it. I'm very glad of it. One of the best season, one of the best part of the year to be in Naples, it's around May, it's around October, September. The city is always crowded, but in August is pretty crowded coastal area. So if you're planning to go to the sea, August is full of people because it's also a period of Italian holidays, while the city in August is pretty empty since most of the people are on holiday. But it can happen that most of the restaurants or shops are closed. Yeah, too depressing, Rebecca. But that's part of the process of to make modern a city. That was what can we do? At least it's only one. One is enough. So June is also a great month to be here. But I prefer the fall with all of the beautiful leaves, full the foliage, full of great color, yellow, red. So really great. It's a Fiat Panda, typical Italian car. Now most of the offices in the Royal Palace are closing because it's time of the end of the day for walk. And I'm now walking next to this other big tree, which is the same type of, it's called a magnolia. It's a magnolia tree with a huge, really, you must have like 20 people to hang all the trunk of this place. Remember, family, that you can like this tour, you can subscribe to my channel, and if you like, you can leave a coffee that I will drink along the week. You can have all the link and all into the descriptions of this tour. I will be, and thank you because I cannot see the notifications about the coffee when I'm doing the tour, but I will see later. Thank you. That's a very huge tree. You see the several roots going around. It's literally breaking also part of the floor. Yes, Susan, thank you. That's really important. Really important. The National Library of Naples is important also for the so-called American section, because there are a lot of periodici, a lot of journals of during the 1940s. Look how beautiful perspective you can get from here. That is a really beautiful perspective. I don't know if you can get a screenshot, but my suggestion, do it, because that is really neat to have part of the Royal Palace and all of these frames beautiful of trees around. That's so nice. As again, it's great, the whole big huge roots. Yes, it's a magnolia tree. That is the name, the full name of it. It's called Magnolia Figus magnoliensis, yeah. That is from the Queensland, for example. This tree is from the New Galles and arrived here at the end of the 18th century, because the Queen Maria Carolina, she sent her gardener all over the world to bring to the Kingdom of Napoli all these exotic plants. That's why this garden is pretty important and is considered, is in the list of the Garden of Italy, Giardini d'Italia. That's a beautiful round etc. And then is sort of a bridge, always made with a volcanic stone, with a symbol of a seashell, symbol of fertility connected with the cult of Venus, and another huge magnolia tree with these big roots. It looks like snakes, how big they are, like anaconda snake. Honestly, I've never seen, for sure you have, but in Italy we don't have such old trees with big roots like this. This is pretty big example, eh? Yes, wow, I'm still walking. Hey, it's about 12 meters from here to the trunk. It's big. That's another perspective of the castle. And then right in front where I am, that now I'm moving the camera slowly so you can get a chance to take all the screenshots that you want, we have the same building of the private accommodations plus the great Galleria Umberto. That is one of the 4 entrances there. And to this other side, this was the fumoir, the place where in the 1700s, but even later, people at the end of the first or the second part of a ballet in the Theatre St. Charles, the oldest theatre opera house in the world, is still active. They used to smoke a cigar or meeting people with that beautiful dress. Look how happy are the dogs playing right here, which is so nice. Thank you, Alain. I'm so glad that you could enjoy this part of Napoli, because it's an unusual part of the city, really unusual. And that it's this other corner of the Galleria through the tree. I'm so glad that you are enjoying this tour. Everything worked fine, everything worked good. Remember that I will upload this tour later on my channel in a few hours. And that is the exedra of the Galleria Umberto. While the white building that we can see now into the screen, that is the entrance to the Theatre St. Charles, Teatro San Carlo, and that is the back of the theatre, with this very beautiful staircase. Teatro San Carlo di Napoli opened on the 4th of November 1737. Unfortunately, it was also under a big fire in the early 19th century, and has been restored in a few months because it was one of the main symbols of the culture in all over the Europe. We know that travelers and a journal spoke a lot about the fire of the Theatre St. Charles that then the king, the royal family, the Bourbon house have to restore in a very few months. Imagine how many people, how many travelers of the Grand Tour were here standing where I am now, enjoying as we do now the whole garden with the same perspective, but just a couple of centuries ago. Wow. It's really, really beautiful. So dear family, I hope that you could enjoy this moment together. We could learn another aspect, another portion of our city, because now Napoli is also your city. When I'm telling you our city, because if you're watching this video, you are part of it. You are part of my tours. I'm so glad you are still following me, that you are so kind, and that for me, it's my fuel. Remember, it's my fuel. So again, if you want to leave a coffee or want to use a PayPal, you have all the links into the descriptions of this tour. I'm not sure if tomorrow I will be live, because tomorrow the forecast is it will rain a lot. I will let you know on a Facebook group, live virtually. I will let you know tomorrow, okay? Okay. Let's change the camera to me. I'm still learning how to use Streamlabs. Hello. I will upload this tour in a couple of hours when I will go back home. No problem. Now, actually, I'm gonna meet one Hego travelers that finally is here in Naples, and we are gonna say hello. We drink a coffee, and then I go home. I will upload the video later today. Thank you very much for the tour. Thank you to be here. Remember to like this video, to subscribe to my channel, and if you can please share the link to my channel with your friends on your profiles, your private newsletter. It will help me to reach the 1,000 subscribers, and also we need the 4,000 hours to watching video to unblock all the settings for YouTube. So it's a long work, but we can do it together, only with your help. Also, thank you for the coffee. I don't know how many coffee you are leaving, but thank you all of you. And I will drink all of them thinking about you. Stay safe. Thank you for everything, and see you, finger crossed, tomorrow. Otherwise, I will be live from the Museum of Naples next Monday. That will be an amazing tour. So check it out, the calendar and the Facebook group, because I will post everything there. Thank you very much. Stay safe, enjoy your evening, and ci vediamo presto. Buonasera a tutti.